the alcohol evaporates up and gets caught up in the neck. And so we can actually get the alcohol up from 8% to 25% on the first distillation. Irish whiskey is one of those pure forms that was our biggest selling export going back 100, 150 years ago and is on a resurgence. And we really feel that there's a place for an independent, family-owned, urban distilling company like ourselves. Myself and my brother Jack, we'd be the recent generation of Teelings involved in Irish whiskey. Our family date back generations, particularly in Dublin City, right back to 1782 when Walter Teeling had his distillery right here in the epicentre of Dublin in a place called Marbone Lane, which was the Liberties. We sort of see ourselves as kind of that next generation of Irish whiskey producer, hopefully innovating and creating products that excite people who mightn't have really been excited by some of the older brands. And this project was the first new distillery to come back to Dublin City in 125 years. We've got some of the best barley in the whole of the world just due to our climate. That's why Irish whiskey was the biggest selling brown spirit in the world going back generations. It's our only competitive advantage, and particularly whiskey making, it's the only non-footloose industry that we have that's manufacturing. It can be branded, it can be sold at a premium, has to use Irish time, Irish water, Irish labour, has to be matured in the island of Ireland for a minimum of 3 years. We're not locating here because of the tax rates, we're locating here because of the climate. So our planning application for this area was the first in, I think it was 4 or 5 years, right in the heart of Dublin. The economic downturn had really hit, and from a cost perspective, Dublin would be the most expensive place to build a distillery. People thought we were bonkers, you know, crazy. Why would you build in the city centre? For us, it was just a natural progression to go back to where it started. Is that yeast is actually eating the sugar and it's creating alcohol. So this will get up to about an 8% alcohol. This is Oregon pine, and each time we use it, it actually absorbs some of the bacteria. So you're getting flavours put into it through that. If you were to drink that, they would have called it back in the day, I think, devil's tongue, because it's so sour, but it's also quite strong. Distillers, they do terrible things, you know? You'd say probably 60, if not more, % of the character is put in from the wood. Minimum to be called an Irish whiskey is about 3 years, but for smaller companies like ourselves, we would leave it in a lot longer. The more times you use the barrel, the less effective they are. So the amount of times that we would use the barrels is maybe once or twice, just to impart a lot of that flavour. And we do things on a much smaller scale. You know, a staggering statistic was that California as a state alone adds more cases of Irish whiskey than the whole of the island of Ireland. So in some of our focus markets like the US, we've got a guy based in Brooklyn, we've got a guy based in Paris who looks after continental Europe, we've got another Irish guy who's based in Melbourne, and they're all out there selling an Irish product. It's a crazy business that if you looked at it from if you're a private equity company, it would make no sense, because it's not a 3 to 5 year payback. It's at best 15, 20, 25 years, and that's why it's either dominated by big multinationals who could take a long-term view, or a family company who has it private. And we're just going to continue to innovate and try things that maybe haven't been done before. Really exciting time for Irish whiskey, and particularly for us as well as a family.